Hello, welcome back to the Go Game Go channel. This is Viking Stew on Hammer Away. We have a little bit of some news today. First of all, let's start with this. Hi, it's me. Just did some rearranging, so there we go. But got a message earlier that the girls would have to reschedule. So they had something to take care of there at home. So hopefully maybe we'll see them on Thursday. That might be a possibility. That's what we're talking about. So today is an interesting day. Not because of that, but yesterday was another loss for us. And actually the other day I didn't mention anything about it. I hadn't gotten word at the time to have said anything about Gary Corbett, who was a keyboardist, producer, and composer. And I had a picture of him here real quick. Let me see if I can pull this up too. But he toured with Cinderella, and he also wrote the song She Bop that Cyndi Lauper recorded. So Gary Corbett, oddly enough, passed away touring keyboardist for Cinderella on the same day as Jeff LaBar. I had the pleasure of meeting Sebastian LaBar the other day. It was wonderful to meet him and be able to give some personal condolences. Because I had told him that I'd met up with his dad, so I told him a couple of those quick stories too. But a wonderful band called Tantric. Now, this is one of those bands that's changed over the years. Hugo has been the lead singer of that band ever since it started, with a few guys from the Days of the New. And so you'll want to check them out. They had one album prior with Sebastian LaBar on it as well. And that is, let me just go ahead and pull it up here. It's hold on. Tantric. There we go. Yeah, Mercury Retrograde is the first one that had Sebastian on it, but they've had a lot of albums. They had their first album came out in 2001, just Tantric, and then After We Go is in 2004. The End Begins in 2008. Mind Control 2009. 37 Channels 2013. Blue Room Archives then was released in 2014. Mercury Retrograde was in 2018. First album with Sebastian on it. And they also, then The Sum of All Things, I should have brought that up here. The Sum of All Things I just picked up at the gig the other night. It's soon to be released. It's to be released this year. So it'll be coming up really, really soon. So also, so that was a wonderful show. Jaron on bass and John on drums. Just a great band, and a great band of guys. They're all really cool to talk to. If you get a chance to see them, if you get a chance to meet them, do so. They're real cool guys. It was a lot of fun. So, hey, Katie, to Katie, I get to hang out with Katie Cruz, who's been on the show. So that was a blast. Then we had some local acts that opened up. 3 of those opened up. So that's a great night, great show on Saturday night. Then of course, Robbie Steinhardt just passed away yesterday. He was 71 years old. The real tough part about this, for I know, everybody involved, that he's releasing his first solo album ever. It's called Not in Kansas Anymore. It's a Prague opera, which I can't wait, because I love Prague music and I love rock operas. They're usually pretty good. So, and they do a version of Dust in the Wind on there. But 71 years old. I went to go see Kansas. It's been quite a while ago, at a nearby venue. And I had this album with me. And It's the Mask album, which is one of the coolest covers of all time. It's got this great piece of artwork on it that is all made of sea creatures. It's a face, and it's all made of sea creatures. It's really cool. Everything from the stingray here on the face. Boy, wow, this really, I'm terrible at that. And the coral on the forehead. It's just an amazing piece. So I don't know if we'll be able to see it, but it was really funny. I'll stand in the front row. It should be right in this area, right in here. Let me see if I can, oh gosh. Yeah, it's right there. There it is. It goes over this little white line a little bit. But standing in the front, like I do, especially at this venue. And Robbie saw that I had the album there with me. And he looked at me and he goes like that. I was like, okay. And he goes, come on, give me your record. So I had a marker with it and he signed it right on the black. It was so funny. I was like, where did he even sign it? It's like magic. The crinkling that you hear is this. I thought I'd share this too. These are the BCW record polypropylene sleeves. Okay. And they're 12 3/4 by 13. I don't know what everybody else likes to get. If I could know, that would be great. Let me know if there's anything out there. What's shaking, Born Distracted? He's at work. Yeah, it's hard to chat. I appreciate you saying hello, though. Lance, what's up? So yeah, I don't know what everybody else uses. I'm kind of cheap, but the price was right. It was on Amazon. And you can order, this comes as 100. You can see that there's 100 of them in here. And they fit everything that I had so far, except one, which was a big old fat, you can see it right there. It's a big old fat Kingston Trio set. That whole box is full of Kingston Trio, but this Kingston Trio, I'm going to be talking about that. Actually, I'm going to use that record right there to talk about it. And, they have a set of these. You can get 3 packages for $30. So there's 100 of them in here. You get 300 of them immediately. So for $70, pretty much you can get 600 of these. And it goes to show that they are all gone. I have done it. I got them in, I don't know, I got them in Sunday, but I opened them up early yesterday morning. And throughout the day, I was rearranging, as you can see. I used every one of them. It was brilliant. I loved it. The only thing that makes me mad is, well, not mad, but the only thing that was disappointing when I was doing it was like, why didn't I have these years ago? Yeah. It would have helped with some of those rings right on the top that you're hoping you don't get, you know what I'm talking about. I just showed you one right here. I mean, it's nostalgic. Yes, it's nostalgic. The ring, but do any of us, I mean, do we really like it? No, I don't like it. I don't like it. But anyway, so these are the bags. They're real nice. They're clear. You can see they're nice and clear. I don't think they're going to get foggy like the old ones did. I had some of those on these records, but just on a few of different things, Yes, thank you. Thank you, Lance. I totally agree. They just, I don't know. Again, part of it is okay. Some part of me goes, just shut up. It's nostalgic. It makes you know you were working those records, man, pulling them in and out. And you can really tell because on albums like this, there's the first Cinderella record. It's still in great shape. It doesn't really have the ring on it. Because that was back in the day when I was making cassettes, man. Who didn't make their cassettes? Take this bad boy home. It's kind of like a car, right? It's like with a car where you just kind of you're like, well, you know what? I got this real nice car and I got this other car. So I'll just do the mileage on the older car, and I'll save this new car for a while, right? I don't know. That doesn't make much sense. Anyway, but you made a cassette of it right away. You just bought it and you recorded it, and then you had a cool cassette for in your car, and you could put it in your cassette player at home, and you didn't have to keep wearing out the record. So I don't know. Yeah, there's Jeff. There's Jeff. So, yeah. Interesting times. Now, so we talked about the bags. We talked about what's going on back here right now. Do you see this right here, right? You see this? I just got a message today from somebody I was contacting about this. So this will be coming up in my show soon. There was. Yes, Lance, that's true. There is an art form to making any mixtape from anything. I'll tell you what. Here's one that pissed me off. You guys will love this. So I helped out with a mini Grand Prix is what it was. It was for the Arthritis Foundation. This was many years ago, earlier in my career, early 2000s. So I spent a bunch of time. I was asked to make mixed tapes for the event, because on Friday night before the event, they'd have a big mixer. And so everybody'd hang out and they had music. So you're like, cool. So they asked me to do it. So I put a bunch of tapes together. I don't know. I must have spent 24 hours putting these tapes together, right? They were like 6 tapes, because even when you're mixing them, that was before, I didn't have all the equipment to do whatever, but I was trying to mix it, so as one's ending, and then sometimes your mind wanders and all of a sudden the song's ended and you're like, I didn't start the other one, or I started it too soon, so you got to start all over again. So I'd spent a whole crap ton of time on these tapes. I get there. I started it with Kiss, with the Star Spangled Banner live from Kiss Alive 3. I thought, this is brilliant. And then somebody, I think it was somebody that ran like the old car display the next day. They love 50s and 60s music. Well, that's what people like. You're like, just stop. So they walk up to me. I don't know who this person is. I've never met them before. And they go, is this all acid rock like this? I'm like, okay, Kiss, acid rock? Really? I don't think so. And I go, no, there's a whole mix of stuff. I had Garth Brooks on there. I had, Shania Twain in the country vein. I had some pop stuff. I probably had, I don't know what all I had on there. I mean, it was just a mix. It was a mix for everybody, right? But start with Star Spangled Banner. Next thing I know, it's off and some other music is on. And that was that for the rest of the night. Spent 24 hours putting those tapes together as a gesture. I didn't get paid for that. I just did it because music's my thing. And I'm like, I got this. I can do this for everybody. I feel, however, I get it. There's a lot of different, because I don't like country necessarily. It's not my favorite, but that's the way it goes. Let me tell you. So anyway, that's my story on that. But yeah, don't let people push you around like that. I almost wish, there's a part of me that wishes I would have gone and done something about it, but it wasn't worth it. Now, let me show you this, because this is happening right now. I'll get this out too. I went ahead and put this in a frame. How nice, huh? This is Kayla and Kelli, so we can be thinking about that. Then this and this, their New Phases CD. You'll notice they're both autographed. So they have a deal right now. So go out on Facebook if you want to connect there, or you can check out their website. I'll put that down over here too. If you want to check that out, this and this you get for shipping only. You don't have to purchase it. It's just shipping only. So check this out. It's a really good record. I'm a lot of what I heard is more, to me, is more of a pop feel. There's a bit of a country feel to it, but a lot of it's quite pop, and it was enjoyable. I mean, I had a lot of fun listening to it. I listened to it a couple of times today, so check that out. Like I said, it only costs shipping. So and then also I got in mine, there's a coupon that came with it that gives you 20% off on their merch. So there you go. So check that out. So that's Kelli and Kayla. So hopefully they'll be here on Thursday. If they're not, that's fine. We just hope everything's fine at home. And we'll be thinking about them. And whenever they can get here, that'll be fine. Also today, I'm wearing this. This is Iron Horse, obviously, because y'all can read that. This is a logo that I did. Ron Keel's band. Oh, yeah. And Lance. Yeah, no, definitely not cool. Especially when I put on more of a diverse set of music. You know, when the other stuff came on, I'm like, nobody partying here is down with this. I mean, it's all just background music now instead of a party atmosphere. It's just the same stuff we've been listening to for years and all surface, you know? So anyway, besides the point. So anyway, back in 2004, I met up with Ron Keel at the NAMM show in Nashville. He introduced me to the band, Iron Horse at the time. It was Ron Keel, Gino Arce, and Jay Resnick, and Gaetano Nicolosi, and I'm forgetting the last gentleman on there. But they had a new band, and that's when I talked to them about, hey, why don't I throw some graphics together for you and see what you think. So I threw this logo together for them. They already had the words pretty much, but I changed the horse head to a little stockier form. So, you know, that's what it is. It just didn't look bulky and cool enough yet. And then I put the flaming horses on there. So that was a little something I thought I'd throw on today. Why? Because I was in contact with Ron Keel today. So, and my buddy Gino, I called him today too, because I needed to get a number. And we chatted, and I mentioned something about Niels Lozauer, and he'll have a story for you, or maybe I will, or maybe Ron will, when I have Ron on the show too, because I'm going to have him on. So look forward to that. In the meantime, this is going to be kind of a short show tonight. Again, just because of where we were. This is really cool though too. If anybody's into WKRP, I can show this finally, because I gave it to Jeff yesterday. My co-host Jeff on Go Game Go. We love WKRP, and I'm in the 4th season, which is kind of sad because I don't know, it just means maybe I'll have to watch it again, but there's so many other things I got to watch too. But these are stickers. They're available on Amazon. So I purchased a couple of them and gave one to Jeff yesterday, along with The Sound of Music and Back to the Future on DVD. But here's the crazy thing. All right. So I'm putting all these together. I don't know how many people, you know, have an awesome, meaningful relationship with their record collection. It's been a lot of years. And what had happened recently, I'll tell you the story. These are 4 cabinets. So this is one, that's one, this is another one down here, and there's another one that matches it on the other side. So what happened was, many years ago, when I was doing voiceover work for a local company, and I've been lots of different things. The first thing I was 3 members of an avocado family for a South American amusement park. It was a band. It was a family band of avocados. So I think I did the son's voice, I did the mom's voice, and I did one other one. So I was 3 members of an avocado band. And then after that, I'd done Professor Pumpkin. I'm a ghost out in Colorado. If you ever want to see that, I could probably pull that video up here. Maybe I'll do that next time. I don't want to waste your time telling you about that if I've got to look everything up. Unless you guys tell me you want me to, then I'll look it up. But anyway, I did that. I've also been King. I was King James, where I put on the whole get-up with the, cape and all that, whatnot, and the old days clothing. And then I'm a painting in a Christian, in a Christian theme park. I also was I was some dead heads on posts for their animatronics. They did an animatronic of a sea captain on a fishing ship, and I did that. So I'd done all kinds of different things. Well, the gentleman there said, I've got a bunch of sound and lighting equipment. That included these speakers, right? And I had them for years. He goes, I got 2 pallets full of stuff, and I want to get rid of it, but I don't want to do it on Craigslist, because then people will want this and they'll want that. And then I'll be stuck with a bunch of remnants that nobody wants. And I don't know what I'm going to do with all that. So he goes, but if you work a show for me down in Florida and you work a show here for me, he said, then I'll just give it all to you. And I'm like, wow, cool. And, he paid my way to get down to Florida. He paid for my food and lodging down there. So it was all good. But that was a hell of a time for me, though, because I had to do graphics at night. So I had to do this. I had a job. I was contracting here at home with graphics. So I went down to do that, and I had to do the show all day on my feet. Then I'd get, after dinner, I had to make it back to my room and then sit down and do graphics till 1, 2 in the morning, then get up the next morning, go back, be on my feet. So that was one hell of a trip. So anyway, I did it, and he gave me all this equipment, right? So I've used some of it. I've given some of it to other people. I've traded stuff and sold some parts, and stuff like that. But these speaker cabinets stayed, but they're heavy, right? And they're old, and the speakers weren't going to be good. So I just gutted them, and then I made them into these cabinets for all my records. Because I had them on a stationary shelf that was about that deep, which is too deep for records, because I didn't have a back on it. So I had boards kind of janky in there, and these things worked out just fine. And I really had a lot of fun going through my records. There was some of the bands that stood out to me was a band called Matrix. Another band was Boulder from Boulder, Colorado, not surprisingly. And if you're ready for this, yes, it's Viking Stew. Yes, I'm a metalhead. You can see I love Thor, Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, but I like Spider-Man, Spider-Man's cool. Oh, and there's Thor right there. And what do I have up there? Oh, I have Striper up here, Striper up there. And what's up there? Oh, Ted Nugent is up there. I got to show you that. That's one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite album covers right here of all time right there. Weekend Warriors. It even made it into Playboy magazine. Such a wonderful painting. I'll tell you more about the guy who painted it at a later date. But one of the coolest album covers. And then he follows it up later with the Penetrator album, which had Brian Howe, God rest his soul, on it, on vocals. And the album cover, it's a dragon tattoo, and the one dragon's coming off and biting the guy in the arm. So it's his own tattoo coming out and then biting him in the arm. So, but the Penetrator album cover, that was done by Boris Vallejo. It's really, really cool. So I'm trying to think if there's something else really cool that I kind of looked up, because then I'd come over to YouTube and I'd look them up. I'm like, you know what? That's an old record that I got at a radio station where I used to work. And by then my turntable wasn't working well, so I wasn't listening to it. But then I came over here, I just pop on YouTube and I'm like, oh, where's that record? And so I'd listen to it. And the Boulder album was really good, had some cool stuff. I've still yet to listen to Matrix. They had multiple records, so I'm going to check those all out. And I'm doggone. Oh, I know who it was. This isn't a setup at all. Not a setup at all. Look at this. Who is that? I don't know if anybody, of my younger audiences members, I don't know who remembers Shawn Cassidy. Shawn Cassidy was a teen idol. He is the half brother of David Cassidy, and they together just were, all over the place, right? Hits like crazy, both on television. Of course, David Cassidy was on the Partridge Family, and have some of that back there too that I bagged up. And Shawn Cassidy was on the Hardy Boys. They did an episode actually that was a Halloween episode, which had Paul Williams in it, which was really, really cool. And he had done the music. So anyway, this came from my wife. So she brought this into the marriage. She brought, now this is the scary part, folks. Are you ready for this? She brought this one in. Okay, that's not the scary part yet. Hold on. Uno. Nope, you're not seeing double, folks. Dos. Hold on. I don't know how this happened. I don't know. And don't blame me. And don't be mad. But I have 3 copies of Born Late. I don't know how that happened, but it did. 3 copies. 3. Okay. I can feel you forgiving me already, right? And then there was Under Wraps. Hold on. There was Under Wraps. I don't know how it happened. Seriously, I don't know. The only thing I can think is maybe I found it at a garage sale or something, and it was uber cheap. And I just thought, oh, maybe I could frame one for her or something. I don't know what I was thinking, or I don't know how it happened. I don't know. But it's kind of a cool cover. But the really weird thing is, of course, I've never listened to any of his records ever. I only know the hits. And he actually did a duet with Goldie Hawn many years ago. She did the opening to it. You can check it out on YouTube. She did the opening part, and she sings beautifully. I don't know why she didn't record more. She sings beautifully, and then it leads into Shawn singing "To Do Run Run." But here's the weird thing. I asked some friends today about this. I said, who am I describing? And I said, it's a pop artist who covered, are you ready for this? Are you ready? Talking Heads, Ian Hunter, and David Bowie. It's Shawn Cassidy. Shawn Cassidy covered all 3 of those. I was looking on on YouTube when I was checking out the albums, right? And I wish you wouldn't do that. I'm going to do that. But I was looking at the album, the song titles, and I saw Book I Read. And I'm like, Book I Read? That certainly can't be Talking Heads. Because back in 1977, which was just prior to when he did that song, there was the album 77 by Talking Heads. And so I love that song. I love that record. I bought it at the same time as Horselips, Man Who Built America. And so it had been out a little while when I got it, because the other one came out in 78. But I picked it up, and I loved the record, and I loved that song. And I thought, Book I Read. And sure enough, Talking Heads. He did Once Bitten, Twice Shy by Ian Hunter, and then Rebel Rebel by Bowie. It's the first track on the record. I think it's on the Wasp record. The album Wasp was the last of his studio records, and it was 1980. And then also in 1980, this is for Papa Pete. Papa Pete. Let me see. Where is Papa Pete? Is Papa Pete here? There's Papa Pete. Oh, that's a good laughing point on Go Game Go. Mainly because
God damn you, Go Game Go.
So anyway, Papa Pete, this one's for you. He also sang in 1980 the love theme song in the Star Trek movie, the first Star Trek movie. So that was kind of the last big things that he did, as far as that career was concerned. He's still with us, still hanging out, and still doing stuff. He's doing a lot of television. He's done a lot of television production over the years. So it was really crazy getting into those records. And then, okay, yeah, I did. I found him at the record store. This was my fault. I know this for a fact that I found this. I think it actually came from Europe too, I think. No, this one did not. This one was from a thrift shop here, because I can tell because of the sticker. We used to go and do some volunteer work at this place. But Do You Believe in Magic? Fun tune. Fun tune. Who wrote it? That's what I want to know. Shall we find out together? Ha. Oh, he wrote Teen Dream. Oh, wow. John Sebastian wrote that song. Holy cow. Do You Believe in Magic? Wow, John Sebastian. Welcome back. And then I found Hey Deeney. Not Houdini, but Hey Deeney. Let's see, who wrote that one? Should we find out? It was on Curb Productions. These are Warner Brothers records. Strange Sensation was the B-side, written by Shawn Cassidy. But Hey Deeney, oh, that's an Eric Carmen tune. So there you go. Wow. We're learning. This is fun. And then, yeah, not one. Nope. One's not enough. You got to have two. You got to have two. That's rock and roll. In fact, I'm going to talk to my band about playing this song. So there. Let's see. That's Rock and Roll is also an Eric Carmen tune. The B-side is I Want to Be With You, which is, wow, I hate this small type. It's so small type. Such small type. Why is it got to be that way? Why is it got to be that way? A little bit of that. Michael Lloyd. I know of Michael Lloyd. I know that name. So I Want to Be With You. But that's rock and roll. Michael Lloyd on one side, Eric Carmen on the other. And yes, boo, 2 copies. So I don't know. Check it out. If you like pop music, check it out. I listened to, hey, what's up, Blake? How you doing, man? I listened to 5 studio albums of his and a whole greatest hits album twice since last night and this morning. So I don't know. If you like pop music, again, if you like pop, I'm not telling you rockers out there going, oh yeah, no. But I'm just saying, if you have an affinity to pop, like I do, I grew up in the 70s, so there's a lot of cool pop stuff all the way, and then through the 80s, and again, here we have Gary Beckett that just passed away. Gary Corbett that just passed away that wrote She Bop. They knew the power of the pop tune. I mean, they don't call it pop for nothing because it's just short for popular. It just means it's something that can hook the masses and so many people can like it. Hysteria. It's a Def Leppard record, but it's a pop record is what it is. And Mutt Lange knew that, and he told that to the guys and said, do you want to be the Beatles, or do you want to be, and I hate the line, the Knack? So, the Knack did a lot in their time frame, and they recorded a lot of good music. If you've never checked it out, it doesn't mean they weren't good. It just means that they didn't stay popular. But they had great music and great records, especially later on when they did Serious Fun was still awesome. That was still a blazingly good record. If you want a good party album to just throw on when you're hanging out with your friends and doing whatever, you know, if you're just hanging out, you know, put that on. It's on YouTube. Just look it up on YouTube and play it at your party, man. It's fantastic party music. Rocket of Love is the first song on it, and that kicks ass. And I've wanted to play that song in a band for years. But that's not where it stops. It continues. The whole record has some blazing tunes on it, great rhythms. The drum work is amazing. And that's when they were working with Billy Ward on that record. Such good stuff. Always good stuff from those guys. So check them out. Check out the neck. It's doing good. Thank you. You like the background? Yeah. The I love that Live After Death record. It's such a great artwork. Some of the last stuff that was done by yeah, sure. Why can't it? Derek Riggs. But yeah, Def Leppard On Through the Night is a great record cover. I love the truck. It's amazing. Yeah, Marvel too. Yeah, there's no reason to hide it. So remember, before I leave you tonight, I hope you've enjoyed our Shawn Cassidy talk, and you're like, oh, great, you're a wacky dude for having all that, especially 3 copies of Born Late, 2 copies of Under Wraps, don't forget. And remember, this is a little note to, again, for Brittany and her daughter she told me about. Brittany and I talked at my gig the other day. Just a lovely gal, and she was really excited about the show. So they'll be here. Don't worry about it. I apologize again, and we'll be thinking about them. But check it out. Go to their website. Check out Facebook, whichever way you want to go, and be thinking about them. And then just, you get on their website or through whatever you use. If you're on Facebook, there's a link because that's how I got to it. And you can get this, and you get the autographed photo for the price of shipping. I think it was like $7. So it's a great record. If you love pop, if you like pop country, you're going to dig it. You're going to love it. Their voices are beautiful on it. They have just wonderful voices. So I'm really looking forward to it. This was the first thing I'd listened to. They'd sent me a few things, but that was the first thing I listened to. And I enjoyed it. Listened to it a couple times. No, I have not. Maybe next time I'll show you this Spider-Man record. It's kind of fun. You can look it up. I mean, it's out there. You can buy it on Amazon even. I flipped out when I saw it was on CD on Amazon. Well, folks, I'll let you roll. Thank you again for listening. And we will maybe we'll see you on Thursday night with Kelli and Kayla then. And otherwise, always remember, when you step out your door, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So be cool and keep rocking on and enjoy the rest of the week.